We're now leaning into firmware because we feel like there needs to be a really strong, stable aftermarket firmware product. And then the other part of our business was site services, where we said, hey, these miners, as they get bigger, they're going to want to outsource more of their back office. They're not going to want to have to deal with all the headaches of running facilities. And we said, hey, we think we can build that capability and do it better and do it at scale. And so we've been building that business for the last couple of years. So it's been fun.
I love it. I mean, you really highlighted some of the core businesses of Foundry. And I think one of the things I want to talk more about, Mike, is the pool, because it is such a core aspect of every miner's revenue stream. And you guys are someone who've done it differently, to your point, by building it from the ground up. Walk me through that development process. What type of hurdles came up and what any memorable moments you want to share that might be some behind the scenes that don't usually come out?
Memorable moments.
Like breaking 100 exahash, did you have a party?
I remember the first block we mined, November 3rd, 2020. I think we were like 3 days in. At that point in time, I think we had like 1%. We were 1% of the whole network ourselves as a miner, right? We were a pretty big miner, relatively speaking, at that time. And we threw all of it at trying to get the pool off the ground. And I want to say we went 3 days without mining a block at that point in time. And those 3 days, you're like, does the tech work? Does it not work? How much can we burn, right? Like, how much money can you burn? That's a lot. We're burning 1% of all exahash every day for 3 straight days. And I remember mining the first block and it was like, holy shit, we did it. It works. Like, we can mine a block. That's exciting. And then the variability is just, and that's the part that most miners really do not understand or comprehend, the variability around mining blocks, and which is also what makes the Bitcoin network so special. Since we've launched the pool, like, I have such a deeper understanding and admiration for the Bitcoin white paper. Like, I really, literally will go down as, I think, the greatest invention of our lifetime. And it'll probably take another 20 years for us to really appreciate what Satoshi was able to put together. Like, it really is incredible in terms of like, people talk about like, oh, it's hard money and there's a 21 million cap. But the way mining works is just fascinating. And this idea of proof of work and connecting it to like reality, I think is so cool. The fact that it's driven purely by the software and it self-regulates, the fact that it can't be gamed, like, you can't game it. Like, you can't get an edge, which is mind-blowing to me. Anytime that like the new money's coming in or the new big money's coming in, like BlackRock coming in, and I listen to these guys talk about the Bitcoin network and I'm like, they don't realize yet that they can't game the system.
Yeah.
Like, they still think that somehow,
different.
some way they're going to get an edge. It's like, no, everyone, it's a fair playing field. And they're not used to that. They're not used to
Where's my edge? I paid for one.
Exactly. Like, I'm big enough. I'm sure. No, I mine 30% of all the blocks every day. There's no edge. And it's really hard to live with, but it's true. And it's amazing. Or the fact that it self-regulates. Like, the difficulty adjustment, I think, is just this magical, it's so powerful. You talk about any other commodity out there, like oil. I mean, literally, you have a bunch of guys sitting around a table deciding what the price of oil is going to be and how much they're going to pump out of the ground, and they've got to come to some agreement. Not the Bitcoin network. Every 2016 blocks, the software decides whether it's going to get easier or harder based on how many people are participating.
Based on everyone's agreement on how many people are running their power bills.
It's a wild concept. So yeah, so I definitely think the journey is always more important than the actual destination, right? So building the team, working with everybody in terms of like their passion for securing the network is really cool. Like, we take it very seriously. Like, it's we play a very important role in the ecosystem, and we try to continue to help our customers make the most money they can. How do we make their lives easier, right? I've been lucky, and I kind of know most of the people in the space. I always give them a hard time because I'm like, you guys, I said, you go to bed every night. You don't worry about whether you mined a block or not, or whether you're going to get paid in the morning. I'm the one who has to like make sure that we got enough Bitcoin to pay you guys day in and day out. And I don't think they really appreciate the variability and the probabilistic nature of mining a block. Because
I guess, so what made you choose the payment strategy you choose, and what is the strategy for the Foundry pool when it comes to, is it pay per share, Can you talk more about that
Yeah,
and kind of why you guys chose?
Like, I think one of the things that our customers appreciate is kind of the approach we took in terms of being trusted, transparent, SOC compliant. Like, we kind of put in all of the things that we knew enterprise customers, publicly traded companies were going to need, including like, look, we had a lot of debate early on. We KYC'd AML'd everyone into the pool. So it's not open for everybody. You have to pass through our screen. And let me tell you, that goes against everything Bitcoin stands for, right? It goes against all the ethos of Bitcoin. But we just said, hey, if you're in, we didn't think US traded companies could mine alongside North Koreans and Iranians and whoever else the US says is not acceptable. Whether you agree with that or not, it doesn't matter. It's like, that's the law. So if you want to tap the capital markets, you've got to follow the law. So we chose to put a product in place that helped them do that. And it's worked. What was your question?
You answered it, like how miners are paid and why you chose the payment mechanism.
Oh, so then, yeah, sorry. With the FPPS, that was kind of the standard at the time in the industry and everyone expected it. We had to the Chinese dominated the market. So we had to match what they were doing for people to start to move over. And then today we just went through a big exercise over the last 6+ months of really looking at the FPPS payment model and repricing it basically, where we're like, geez, we're literally like, we got to pay the bills. I got to pay all these engineers. I got to be able to maintain the infrastructure. And the way it was priced, especially post-halving, it just didn't make any sense. So we had to go back and reprice it. So that's been.
Can you dive into that at all? Of like what you're priced at today now and maybe what you were before? Because I know for a while you guys had no fees on your pool.
Yeah, like when we got off the ground, when we started, we had to do a no fee model because
Gain market
it
share,
was basically subsidizing that through AMP pool, right? So that's the difficult part. When you got someone like Bitmain, who is just this massive gorilla in the market that makes the machines, is the biggest miner, has the biggest pool. Like they can pull all kinds of levers to make money from the customer base. And so they chose to have the pool be like a loss leader for them, right? So the first kind of 2 years, we're like, all right, we kind of have to do that. And then we got to a point where we're like, okay, this business model is no longer, it's not sustainable. Like it literally, we can't do this for you. So we can either like turn it off and everyone's like, don't turn it off. Oh my God, don't turn it off. And we're like, all right, and you gotta pay. Everyone's like, okay, you're right. We got to pay. And that's kind of where we're at. So, which is good. I mean, it is a super valuable service to the miners. And I think we do a really good job at it. So,
no, I agree with you. I have not been able to use the pool yet. It's never went through the KYC process, but I think that overall, I've heard amazing things.
What, you can't clear the KYC?
We could, but it's just, I don't know. I guess I got caught up in the co-branded Bitmain pools, I would say, for a while. And now I'm like, okay, what's the next move? But there's a lot of software development infrastructure that, that you build on top of a pool and its reporting techniques and its shares and
absolutely
worker management that it's really hard to move is the reality of it.
Yeah, I would say most people are very pleased when they move to Foundry.
Well, I'm open to being convinced, so we'll have to talk more about that offline. But Mike, I guess one of the things you mentioned there's like earlier in the episode, there's these big shifts that happen. And the first shift for you was your web browser. The second shift is Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining in the pool. And where I'm going with the third shift is AI. How is AI going to change running a mining facility? So not, HPC, running HPC servers, but using OptiFleet and your firmware and your site operations business that you guys have at Foundry. Where do you see AI really bringing an insane amount of value to the end customer who's running tens of thousands of servers, which we know is can be very labor intensive, both on the physical side, but also on the management side and the RMA process and the after sales and all of that.
Yeah, I was going to say that where AI is bringing the most value seems to be in the stock price of Bitcoin miners who are, in quotes, pivoting. Different topic than what you're asking. The AI revolution is here, right?